Nintendo Switch. Here we go now. Hi, I'm Andre, I'm a black nerd, and yes, it is time to talk about the Nintendo Switch. Watched the presentation last night, been watching a bunch of the Treehouse Live stuff this morning, so I just want to let you know in this video, just my general impressions, my first impressions about the Nintendo Switch. I'm gonna make a follow-up video where I'm gonna talk more about the games and tell you the games that I'm most excited for the Switch. This is just sort of a general feel. And generally, I feel pretty good about the Switch. There's a lot of stuff in it that has me very intrigued. There's a little stuff in there, or at least in that presentation, that was very Nintendo. We'll get to that. But overall, it did get me excited for the Switch. So basic details about the Switch. It is releasing on March 3rd, 2017 with the price point of $299.99, 300 bucks. That's pretty much what I expected it was going to be. When you consider that this is a system that you'll be able to play at home as well as on the go, it's basically two systems in one. It's a portable system and a home system. 300 bucks is actually not that bad of a deal for it. And I think that's probably the highest you could have gone when people would be like, oh, I might check that out. If you went any higher than that, that'd be questionable. And as I said in the presentation, which I thought was kind of neat, they showed how this system has kind of the DNA of something from every system before it. The Wii U's touchscreen, the Wii's motion controls, the portability of the GameCube when it had that handle on it, all the way back to the old systems with the way they introduced different buttons. I thought that was kind of a neat way to show that all these old systems kind of caught themselves up to become the Switch. No mention of Virtual Boy, but I kind of have a feeling the fact that you got these Joy-Cons, you can move around with them, that it's only a matter of time before that DNA seeps into the Switch or some Nintendo product in the future. We're gonna be putting something on our faces soon with Nintendo. I can feel it. If PlayStation can do it, Nintendo definitely gonna do it. And speaking of the Joy-Cons, let's talk about those. So you know those are the little controllers that are attached to the side of the Switch if you want to take it on the go, or you can take them off and put them in their own controller, even though there is a Pro controller, which actually looks pretty decent. I definitely want to get one of those. But they do have these Joy-Cons. What's interesting about them is that when you split them up, they're like two mini controllers, and I've already seen from a couple of games, there's gonna be games that you can play two-player, where you can literally take one each of the Joy-Cons and play them together, so you don't have to buy a full second controller. Even though you are gonna be able to buy the Joy-Cons separately out there. They're pretty pricey though. It's $79.99 to get a new set of Joy-Cons. That's more than a controller for Xbox or PlayStation, but if you want it, that's what you got to get it. And the Nintendo Switch is going to come out in two versions. There's going to be a fully gray version, so the Joy-Cons and the system will be gray. And then there's a second version where the system is gray, but your Joy-Cons are a neon red and a neon blue. I get the idea of having different colors, especially if you're going to be using this on the go or playing with friends as two-player. I just personally wish they would have picked something that fit better with the Switch. It's kind of weird to see this nice, kind of slick gray and black system, and then just all of a sudden this very bright kitty looking neon red and blue. It looks like a little toy. So I wish they would have picked something like maybe that galaxy purple that they use on the 3DS, or just something with a darker color that still kind of fits with the system, kind of has a nice little tone to go along with it, so it doesn't stick out. For me personally, I'm probably going to get all gray. But I kind of have a feeling if you want all gray, you definitely want to pre-order, because I just have this vibe that that one's going to be the one that's going to be sold out faster. And then if you see a Switch in stores, more than likely you're going to see the one with the red and the blue neon. So just putting that out there. Let me know which one you like. Do you like the all gray, or will you be getting the red and blue neon? Some people might want that. For me, you know, it's an aesthetic thing. I just like classic all across. Now, since this is a portable system, I was very interested in knowing what the battery life was gonna be. And they claimed in the presentation that it's gonna vary between 2.5 and 6.5 hours, depending on the type of game that you play. On the website, it says that The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild should be roughly about 3 hours of play on the battery. That's definitely gonna be a test though. I kind of feel like it's gonna lean more to the 2.5, 3 hour side than the 5.5, 6 hour side, but at least it's good to know what the battery life is on it. But what's nice is that the console will have a USB port that you'll be able to plug into, and then that can plug into an AC adapter, so you can then have it charging. Or I'm guessing you could even have it charging through like a battery pack or something like that, like a Mophie or something, I don't know. But it's nice that you will be able to charge it on the go like you would your cell phone or a tablet or anything like that. Wi-Fi enabled, touchpad screen, up to 8 Nintendo Switches can be connected at one time through local multiplayer. No region locking. It will not be region locked like the past Nintendo systems. A lot of people seem overjoyous about that because sometimes you can get games from other countries, you want to play them, you can now do that. And I think the reason why they are doing this is because of the other announcement that they made. Nintendo is finally going full on with an online service. They've kind of dabbled with it. We've had online services from them before, but this is sounding like something to the same level of Xbox Live or PlayStation Plus. It's going to be a free trial when the system launches, but they did say that starting in the fall, it will become a paid service. So Nintendo is now going to have you paying for that online service. And I know some people are gonna be like, no, but you've been free, whatever, but I kind of feel like this needs to happen just because this has been a part of Nintendo that hasn't been really strong. Even when they've had some online, it's never been the absolute best. So they're now finally kind of seeing that this is something they really need for the system, and I appreciate that. So if it means throwing some cash to another online service out there just to make sure it's a good online service, then I'm all for it. But that's the key, Nintendo. It's gotta be a good online service, and it's gotta have the features that people are used to having. I'm not a big chatting to another person online type of guy, but I know a lot of people are, so I'm just saying, if you want people to start shelling out money, you can't decide to be like, well, we can't have this because we're Nintendo. We can't have this because kids play our system. You just gotta let that go. When the cash starts flowing, the features gotta start coming. But I am intrigued of seeing Nintendo really getting more into online with this, as well as all the stuff they're doing with mobile, as well as everything they're doing with the 3DS still. And of course, I'm just hoping with this whole new My Nintendo account thing that it's something that's gonna just all connect together. I don't know what this is, but this is my impression of Nintendo. It's a wireless connection. So the Joy-Con is neat for all the stuff that you could use it for. There was a lot of stuff that they talked about the Joy-Con that, you know, it's cool that it does it, but I don't know if I'm super excited about it. Of course, they were bringing back that motion control. They let you know the Joy-Cons can do motion control. One of them has this camera that can determine how far, how close your hand is. It can even determine if you're doing rock, paper, and scissors through the camera, motion sensor. No, see, why are you looking at me like that, Nintendo? Don't be trying to figure out the scope of my body. You don't need to know that. That's how they get you. And there's something about like one of them shakes and you can hear it shake, and apparently it feels like how ice is moving. I'll get ice in the cup, Nintendo. I mean, that's cute. I'm glad that you have the capabilities of doing that, but use that energy to make more games at launch, or more games to play, or getting more third parties involved. I just feel like there's a better use of your time. Cure a disease, Nintendo. If you got that much knowledge going on, maybe you need to get into medicine. Nintendo Pharmaceuticals. Maybe you need to start making some pills. You could be our healthcare insurance. Forget Obamacare. Let's have Nintendo Care. I'm ready. How do you figure this stuff out? Do you have a bunch of black female mathematicians and scientists hitting away, hidden figure style, doing all this for you? Give us your scoop, Nintendo. Oh, and there's a capture button on one of the Joy-Cons too, so now you're gonna be able to capture screenshots and eventually video of you playing the game and then put that on social media. So Nintendo is actually encouraging you soon to capture video of your gameplay and upload it to something like YouTube or Facebook or Twitch. So Nintendo, if you are making a button to allow people to do that, that means you're cool if they do that, right? Like, you're not gonna have any problems with people doing that in the future, capturing the gameplay and putting it up to showcase with commentary through a fair use way. So it has built-in 32 gigabytes internal storage. Yes, it's doing 32 gigs again, just like with the Wii U. However, this time, you're gonna have USB ports on the Nintendo Switch dock, so you'll be able to connect that to a hard drive, an external hard drive. And the Switch itself is going to have an SD slot, as well as the slot for the game cartridges. So that means that you can do expandable storage through an SD card. I'm pretty sure they didn't want to go crazy with the storage internally, because that would have probably brought up the price point a little bit more. 64 still would have been nice though, or just something a little bit higher, but you know, if you're gonna at least have options to put an SD card slot inside of the Switch itself, that's at least a nice trade-off, I guess. Nintendo claims there's 50 developers who are ready to go for making games for the Switch, and over 80 games in development. Though it's funny watching some of the developers on the presentation. It was like, hey, I'm here to tell you we're totally fully committed. We don't have a game to show you right now or anything. We'll show you an image of Travis touchdown, but trust me, we're really into it. I especially laughed when EA showed up talking about like, oh, we're really dedicated to Nintendo Switch. We got FIFA coming. I'm like, fool me once. You like a bad breakup that decided to come back. You left me with Nintendo Wii U. You were like, EA's totally gonna hang out with Nintendo Wii U. Ubisoft is totally behind Nintendo Wii U. And then gone. And I understand, you know, those sales didn't make you happy, so you're like, we out. But then you gonna roll back up here, fly out to Japan and be like, hey baby, you know what? Let's try this again. EA, you proved to me. You put Mario in Madden and then we can talk. And then of course they showed off a bunch of games, which like I said, I'm gonna have a separate video to talk about the Nintendo Switch games. But the ones that they showed, some of them of course got me excited. We got to see more Zelda, and I love that they finally announced, even though we probably assumed it, that The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild will be releasing the same time as the Switch, so March 3rd you can get that game as well. But they showed us Super Mario Odyssey, which is really exciting. Mario is in different worlds, including technically the real world with actual real size people, even though he's a real person, but he's like super shorter than everybody else. But hey, he's jumping off buildings and stuff. He looks like freaking Spider-Man. And I also love that Bowser is in some big white suited pimp suit for some reason. What is up with Bowser? We need to talk about Bowser. Bowser has a big hoopty car. He's got now this cool white pimp suit with a top hat. What you trying to say about Bowser, Nintendo? Bowser, my brother. Yeah, a lot of games seem really neat and cool, but then you know Nintendo, man, they cannot stop trying to bring back that Wii time. So now let's make a game where your arms stretch out super far. Let's make a game where you can have a gunshot battle, because that's fun. Hey, let's shoot your friends. 1-2 switch. You know, okay. I'm not gonna even hate on that stuff. I know a lot of people are gonna be like, where's the hardcore games? Forget all this motion control. You know what? There is an audience for that, and I get that. I just really hope that Nintendo understands that as much as that's cool and that's great for families, for casual gamers, what's really gonna help this system, particularly in the gaming crowd, is that you show games off that's like, okay, I, as an adult, will sit down and play that. Like saying you're gonna have Skyrim on the Switch and that you'll be able to take it on the go. That's great. Showing off Splatoon 2 was great. Showing off Mario Kart was great. Even though they didn't really give a lot of dedication to Mario Kart, it was in a montage, but more information came out about that in the Treehouse. But those are the types of games that's gonna make that system sell. Like that's the kind of stuff that people want to see and get excited for. Seeing the first party titles, of course, and then seeing what strong third party titles, especially third party titles that are strong and seem like the type of game that you're gonna spend a lot of time with, so taking it on the go is an advantage. That's the type of stuff that makes people go, oh yeah, I want to Switch, or at least that's what makes me go that way. So I'm just hoping you're gonna get more of that and less of the gimmicky stuff, because the gimmicky stuff is gonna be cute, it's gonna be great, and then a year from now, you're not gonna care. But a good Mario game, a good Zelda game, a good Splatoon game, a good Smash Bros. Game, a good Mario Kart game, good third-party games on a Nintendo Switch, that can carry on. There's still people playing older games on 3DS and older games on Wii U that have been around for years because that's the longevity of those types of games. Switch needs those too for the system to succeed, in my opinion. That's just me. But overall, man, I'm excited. This was a good launch for the most part. That guy, a couple of guys hosting it made me laugh. It was very Nintendo. It was very Japanese. But like I said, we got the Nintendo Treehouse going on. So that's at least a way for, you know, we Americans to really see the games and things we want to see to get excited for. And I'm excited for all of this. So Nintendo Switch, looking forward to you March 3rd. Gonna get online right now and see if there's any pre-orders left. And let me know if you're gonna pre-order it or if you're even interested about this at all. Let me know what you're thinking. I'm seeing Mario Odyssey right now on my screen through the Treehouse Live, so I'm gonna leave right now. But thumbs up this video. And if you are new here, click that subscribe button and also ring that bell so you can be notified of future videos that I make. I love you like a play cousin. I'm Audi 5000. Chain chomp.